So in today's session, I will be covering React plus Firebase. So you don't need to have any prior experience in Firebase to attend today's session. So, but all we will be covering, I will be covering Firebase 9. Okay, so the latest version of Firebase and how you can use most of its feature or all of its feature in React per se. Okay, so today's life is all about Firebase with React. Okay, so today I am going to answer most of the burning questions. First of all, whoever is learning React for the first time usually uh, should be focusing on only on front end because React is basically a front end library. Okay, it is majorly used for manipulating your UI. So, first of all, we are going to answer the question, what is Firebase? Okay, and second, what are its different features or services that it provides? So why it is usually used with Firebase, React? Okay, and the third is with React or any kind of Android application. If you are going to learn Android in future or iOS maybe per se, so at that point of time, Firebase is also helpful. Okay, so what are the different features that you could use while doing it? So these are two things, and of course it will be hands on. I will be doing it step by step. Okay, so don't worry, let's just get started. Okay, so meanwhile, if you people have, what is Firebase? Okay, so Firebase is a service by Google, okay, that provides backend as a service. Backend as a service. First of all, before using Firebase, we need to understand what it is and what's its role in React ecosystem. Okay, so whenever you build a website, so there are two components to it. So the first component is your front end. Okay, so the first component is your front end. So front end is majorly React. So front end is React, and uh, you should also get data. You should also authenticate. You have to deploy it somewhere. Okay, so these kinds of things. Okay, for this you need a backend, and this backend is basically your server, and Firebase provides all the services that can be obtained from a good backend server. Okay, so what are those services, that what are our requirements? So there are few requirements. First of all, it provides you authentication. Authentication means that any application that is viable, you need to have a basic login and sign up feature. Okay, so the first thing that it provides is login and sign up, and that is what backend gives you. Okay, the next feature that it gives is database access, because whenever you create an application like let's say a simple social media website or an e-commerce website, you have to store data of the products when it comes to e-commerce website into your database, or the users data into the database. So it provides the database to you, okay, without getting into much details. Third, it provides you storage. Okay, so let's just assume you are building an social media website. So at in that website, users will be uploading videos, images, maybe if that is a LinkedIn, then docs file, and any kind of file. So it also provides you the storage. And the last thing is you have to host it somewhere. So it also provides hosting. So there are many more features that it provides, but in the context of React, these are the utmost important features that you should be looking out for. Understood, everyone? So authentication, databases, storage, and hosting. Storage means storing a media file onto your backend. Okay, so these are the four features that are given by Firebase to you. Okay, of course it is backed by Google, so that are its advantages. So uh, now how to use it. So the next point is how we can use it. So think of Firebase similar to AWS. Okay, AWS is of course very large thing, and there is no clear analogy between these two. Think it like AWS, but so basically it is a service that you can use, and whenever you use service you have to pay some money. Okay, you have to pay some money, but when it comes to Firebase, there are few advantages. Like if I'm a developer, I just want a backend for the testing purpose, or the development purpose. Okay, so what I can do, I can use their free tier service that provides all these features up to some extent. Okay, so they provide free tier service where you don't have to provide any credit cards or debit card details. You just need to have your Google ID, Gmail ID. That with that you can sign up and you can use their services to a particular extent, and that is again very uh, uh, large service. Okay, so it is enough for the development purpose. Okay, so we can use it. Okay, so let's just move on and let's see how we can use all of these services. And first of all, let's just firstly initially sign up, then we will be seeing how we can use these services and integrate these things into a simple React application. That's all we will be learning today. Okay, so first of all, let me just set up a simple agenda for today also, so that you have a clear know how what we all will be doing. So first of all, let me just create a Firebase course folder, and it will be lecture number 6. Okay. Hmm. Next, let's just add a simple to do, new file, to do.md. So today's agenda is, first of all, let's just so now we know that Firebase is basically a replacement for backend when you are learning your front end. Okay, and front end can be anything. It can be your web application, or you also use it in when you are learning Android. Okay, because Android is in your mobile phones, and your actual data, actual everything resides in your backend. Okay, so agenda for today is how to setting up React Firebase account. First of all, let's just set up a Firebase account so that we are able to use it. Second, include Firebase Firebase credentials into our React app, because you whenever you create an account, you get your own credits that you can use it. Okay. Next is, before that, as of now I will be starting Beat, so let's just also learn how to set up a simple React app using Beat, because Beat is very fast as compared to normal Create React app. Okay, so we are going to do the setup. So the command will be different, but the output will be same. So let's just do that. And after this, once this traditional part is done, then we will be learning how to implement authentication with Firebase. So major features that we can use. Okay, major features that we can look up to: authentication. Second would be database services. Third would be after database. Third would be to store some file, store files, or store files slash media. Okay. Last would be hosting. So there are different services for each of these features in Firebase. Okay, and of course I will be giving you a walkthrough of Firebase console. Okay, so these are the things that we need to do. Okay, now let's just open our browser and let's just go to firebase.com. Firebase, just type in Firebase. So here is the web page, firebase.google.com. So here you will just click on it, just need to sign up into it. Okay, okay, so let's just do the setup. So this is a web page. Basically, if you're logged in into your Chrome account, Chrome, so you will be on your own logged in. Okay. Next, you have to click on Go to Console. So as soon as you click on Go to Console, you will be guided toward this feature. Okay. So let's just yes. Hmm. So here you can just go to create a project. Okay, you have to always go to create a project. Okay, and next would be to enter any name. Okay, so the point is, let me just explain you what is the meaning of project over here. So Firebase act as a backend. So what does a backend means in the context of any application? Okay, so majorly in application development, in web, in mobile, in desktop, there is only one backend. So let's just take an example of PUBG for that sake. Just hmm. So if I have a backend, majorly these backend tends to remain same. Okay, either you're gonna write in Node.js, JavaScript, Python, C Sharp, anything you want, but you are going to have a single one. But when it comes to front end, there could be many front ends. Let me explain. There could be an iOS app. There could be an Android app. There could be a desktop app. So basically, what happens is you have a front end, okay, and you get the data from backend. Okay, so you usually have single backend and multiple front end. So initially, when you go inside Firebase, just go to their web page, then you are asked to create a project and name the project. Okay, so I'm naming it Firebase demo. Okay, so Firebase can only contain letters, spaces, and Firebase demo. Okay, accept it. I can know I will exclusively blah 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 trade blah, 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 ठीक है. Continue. Just disable all these things. Don't need at this point of time. Just create project. Okay, it will take some time, and now your project will be created. Okay, so let's just wait for a few seconds. So as I told you that you usually have will be having multiple front ends. Okay, so front end just does not mean only your web. It can be Android, it can be desktop, or it can be any thing. Okay, so now your Firebase project is created. Now what they are what you can see over here is there are multiple options. Okay, so iOS is for Apple, this is Android, this is web. So of course we are learning React, so we will be touching over to web. And next is Unity is of course for gaming, and Flutter, you all know. Okay, so now going to web. Okay, now it is asking what we did. Initially, we created a Firebase project that will act as a backend. Now we have to create we have to create a project that will that whose threads will go to a particular front end. So in this case, I have to create different project for different kind of front end. So as of now, we are working with web. Okay, so I will be creating a project with I have to go inside of it. Just click on here web, and then you have to now create it. So now just put Firebase. That's okay. Firebase. Just put anything you want. Register ad. So it on its own will be giving you the basic setup for it. Okay, so you can just get it from here, or you can just go ahead and you can just see the services. Okay, so as of now, what I will be doing, I will be going to my console. Okay, now you will be greeted with this screen, and you have to always work with these things. Okay, so now, as of now, what we have done, we have set up our Firebase account. Okay, and in that part, we just created Firebase project, and inside of that Firebase project, after that part was done, I have created a web project inside of that. So this web part will correspond to your front end, and this will correspond to your back end. Okay, so you can understand it like this. Okay, understood everyone? Huh? So now let's just move on to our next part, setting up a React app using Vite. Now, how we can do it? So let's just go over to Vite and let's see how we can do it. Basically, why I am using this new term Vite. So whenever you install your set up your React application, there was only one single de facto way of doing it, that was create React app. But with the create React app, the module size and the setup for a simple React app was taking a lot of time. That's why Vite was introduced instead of it, and it has more features and it is way faster than a basic Create React app. That's why Vite is majorly used. Okay, so now we should be going to our Vite web page, and we can just, so they have also just added few of the feature. Okay, so let's just, these are the people who sponsors and use it also. Okay, so now guide just need to use with React. You can you can just directly use it in stack builds also, but here they've added how you can scaffold a simple Vite application. Okay, so the first thing is to copy this npm create Vite at that latest. Okay, just let me just clear it out. Npm create its hook course. Just want to go inside the Firebase course. Open terminal. Yes. Command V. So it just asks us to create a project name as you usually create using Create React app. So I will be naming it Firebase examples. You can name it anything. Okay, and it also asks for different things like which kind of framework it needs to work it on. Okay, so it is basically also framework agnostic. So as of now, we will be using it for React. Okay, and it also asks if you want to work with TypeScript, JavaScript, or SWC is something around Rust and all. We just need to use JavaScript as of now. So you can see it has, as of now, instantly created your simple Create React app. Okay, simple setup for it, where you can get src and all those things. But as of now, you need to follow some steps. Just go to cd firebase examples, and after this, just do npm install. So it will take some time, but not as much as creator asks you to do it. Okay, now it's done. Let me just go inside of it so that it would be easier for you people to understand. Is it inside of it? Yes. So I need to use my simple finder. Let's just open a simple React app by removing it from here. Okay, this part is done. Huh. So now, as of now, I'm inside of it. So cd firebase underscore examples, and just do npm I. I've already done npm I, so it has installed most of the modules. So this part is done. Now just do npm run dev instead of npm start. You have to do npm run dev. Okay, so it on its own open your web page over here. So if you over here, this will be giving you basic overview of the starter application. Okay, so it also gives you a counter example. Okay, so with this, your setup is very fast. Okay, now this part is done. Let's just go through the console of our Firebase. Okay, so as of now, I told you the major feature that we will be using while we are using Firebase, are authentication, database, storage, and hosting. Let me just walk you through the features that are provided by Firebase. After that, we will be using each of them. Okay, so first of all, there are different product categories. If I just increase the size of it, so first is build, second is release, third is analytics, fourth is engage. Majorly, you will be working with build when you are working with React. Okay, so build contains few things: authentication. Firebase authentication is majorly responsible for implementing different kind of authentication strategies. Like if you want to authenticate your user, like if you want to implement login sign up using simple email id, using Firebase Facebook login, GitHub login, Google login, any kind of login. Okay, it helps you with that with a lot less code. Okay, second is Firebase database. Okay, so Firebase database is one of the other feature for using databases in your front end application. Okay, so you get instant access of database without including mongodb or sql and all those things. Okay, next is storage. With the help of storage, you can store any file, any folder, anything you like. Okay, and next will be hosting. So hosting helps you to host your React application to the web. Okay, and there are few more. Real-time database has some other implementation, other advantages that is out of the scope for as of now. I'm gonna explain these two also. App check is for the safety purpose, and extensions gives you certain extensions that you can use, like sending emails, uh, OTP features, all those features. And server function, these are known as Firebase function. Firebase functions are majorly used to implement certain logic that needs to be run when a route is called. So it uh, serves as a simple server function. Okay, so it is out of context. As of now, we need these four features: authentication. First is authentication, Firebase database for database, for storing storage, and for hosting your hosting. So these are certain services. So here is authentication, Firebase. We usually say it Firebase auth. Here it is known as Firestore. There are different services, and here it is known as storage, and here it is known as hosting. Okay. Now let's just see each of them one by one in action, because already we have installed our React application. Now we will be seeing them all one after another. Okay, so let's just first first go through authentication. So first of all, I will be implementing a simple login and sign up using our Firebase. Okay, so before that, I need to include Firebase threads into my React application. Let's just do it. Okay, so let's come over here, and for this, I am going to my Firebase demo application, and as soon as you click on here, there is this setting button. Set up using Feet and Firebase account. Okay. Uh, hmm. Now, moving on, let's see how I can use these credentials into my actual application. Okay, so for that, let's just go to our basic React app, and as you already know, the main thing, it starts from main.jsx, or it is index.jsx. Okay, jsx, and it has your app.jsx. These two things. Okay. Hmm. No, no, no. I just installed it only once, yaar, Abhishek. Just installed it only once. So if you want, the point was that I just did npm create Vite, because Vite gives you multiple options. Okay, it can work with Vue and all different type of frameworks. Okay, first of all, you create using Vite, and it then gives you the option. You choose React, and then inside React, it gives you an option to work with TypeScript, JavaScript, or JavaScript with Rust and TypeScript with Rust. So I chose JavaScript, and after that, so as soon as you are done with this, okay, as soon as you are done with this thing, then you have to go to that folder and then npm I it. Okay, so this is a whole flow. So with this, Beat is rather more faster than normal create React. Okay, that's why I introduced you to this. Okay. So now coming back to it, authentication. Let's just see uh, how we are going to do it, and before that, let's just add the credential for it. So for this, what I'm going to do, I will be creating a simple file with the name firebase.js. Okay, and now just copy this whole file and paste it over here. That's it. And this contains to import. Okay, but before that, you must also install Firebase library. Okay, so that you can use it. Okay, moving on. Now this part is done. You have to slowly use all the features. Okay, let's see how you can use these threads to implement this login and sign up feature. Okay, so for that, let's just go inside our basic build, and inside of that, I am going to go inside authentication. Okay, so the first step will be to click on go to this Firebase auth. No, JSX is not required here. Okay, you can put JSX also, but it is not required. Okay, so moving on, here you can just, for enabling authentication, you have to go to get started. First of all, for every service you have to do it, and there are these number of different uh, additional authentication providers like Google, Facebook, Play, and all those things. You can use any of these things. Okay, so let's just go to settings also. Link account that use email and password get multiple account for each identity. Sign methods. Okay, nothing in the setting as of now. Just go to sign in methods and just click on any of the features that you want. As of now, I want to enable just email and password. So you have to go here and you have to just enable email and password. You have email link, the passwordless login also. Okay, just save it. Now you have the option. Now you have just enabled that in your application user can log in using email and password. Okay, so here by the way what happens is users sign up on their own and then they can log in. Okay, but for the starters I am using, let me just assume as a database admin, so I'm just adding a simple user to it. Okay, so like Jasbir @ gmail.com and password of 123456. I've just added the user. Now on the console, I just need to enable the service. So how to use these all these features? First of all, you have to always first of all go and enable the service and enable service. First step for any service that you will be using in Firebase is to always enabling that. Without enabling, that will not be working. Okay. So first of all, I enable the service. Then inside of that, I enabled email and password because as of now, I just want that thing only. Okay. So now, let's just see. I've just also added the user. I think the password was 126, and as of now, I don't know how to use this these credentials to enable my login and sign up. Okay, so for that you can just directly go to Firebase docs because with this they also gives you the documentation how to use it. So for this, go to auth. So here you will be getting the Firebase authentication documentation and you have all the options. Just need to go to web. Okay, so just go with get started. First of all, you have to always go to get started. Okay, so here they will be explaining how you have to use this feature one after another. So the first thing, uh, in your firebase.js file where I just pasted the credentials, you have to import another thing that is get auth. Okay, so let me just do it. So after I am done with the first iteration, I will be explaining you everything one after another. Okay, so the first thing would be to import this get auth thing. Okay, and now you have to create a simple auth from here. Okay, and what you would be doing, you will be exporting this auth. Okay, now what would usually happen if you want to implement a simple login page? It is very simple. So for that, let me just create a folder inside src and I would name it components, and it would be of course my Firebase auth. Firebase dot j6 rename, and I will be going inside my app.js6. I will be clearing everything from here. So a simple h1 and Firebase demo. So the first thing would be auth. So for that, I will be enclosing it into empty fragments. And for this, to and inside of S2, I will be going to give auth demo. Okay, a simple login form. So just on that web page with me. So this is the web page. Okay, with this I will be working. So let's just create a simple login form so that I can use it. For this, what I will be using, as of now, I will be using use state for it. Okay, so that it is very easy for us. So without login, I just don't want to use login form because I have created the component over here, so I can use that as well. Okay, so let's just import that guy, Firebase auth. Okay, so if I need to auto import it, so for this just simply do RFC, so you get simple form. Okay, now I will be adding h2 and a Firebase auth. Then after, below it will be a simple h3 login form. Okay, so now my setup is nearly complete. After this, I have to create a simple login form. That's it. Firebase auth. I just go over here. So as of now, we are doing this. Let's just create a simple login form so that I can use it uh, to demo the Firebase authentication. Okay, so here let me just bring it in the main screen. Okay, so with this it would be easier for us to understand. This is done. Okay, let's just have into two input. Just have another input and basically a button with a text of login. Okay, so placeholder would be your email and it will be password, and placeholder over here would be password. Sorry, your password. Yes, password would work. Now, uh, I just added a simple line break. Okay, nothing else. So now we are having this email and password input with us. So now you already know how I can handle it. Okay, so just bear with me. This is the email, comma set email equals to your simple use state would work, and here I will be passing the empty email and with the same password and set password use state. Okay, now my form is ready. And just add, I need to just control these input elements so I can get the values. So for this, just on, so value is equals to, for this guy it would be your password, and for this person it should be your email. I think every one of you are getting my point. So now there's a basic form is happening to it. Email value, let me inspect it. I go to console. Use state is not defined. Let's just add a simple use state. Okay. I already explained use state, use effect, and all those things in the earlier class. I can use state, or I can simply use my use reducer also, because with form and lot of entries, you should always be using use reducer. But as of now, for the sake of simplicity, I'm using use state. So of course, with on change, it will be this thing e, and of course, you know the drill. Email will be e target dot value, and let me close it. And the same would work with this guy also. Set password. Okay. Now with this, I have the email and I have the password. Okay. So as soon as I click on the button, I want something from it. I think everyone is able to view my whole code. Let's just copy it from here, just put it here. Okay, no issues. Ah. It's visible, I think, all of it. So with the button, it will be on click, and I will be calling my function. Let's just say it is uh, login attempt. Okay. Let's just create a method const login attempt equals to, of course, as of now, I will be logging this console dot logging it, or I will be alerting the email and the password. Understood, everyone? I think everyone is on the same page. Let's just uh, comment this piece of thing so that it can come over. Okay, so now our email is here. So abc at the rate gmail.com, and password would be 123456. So now at this point of time, I'm able to get it, but my password is not visible. I don't know why. Let's just console.log my password. At on change, it is set target and all those things. Let me just go and check, go to my inspect, and let's just go to console. With email abc at the rate gmail.com and 123456 on login. My password is not visible. I don't know why. Target dot value. Let me just console.log it my password at least. Okay, so that would give it more credibility. So password is of course they are not showing because of dot password, so that's why that would be the case. So but it is being logged. Okay, now I have set up a simple demo where I will simple login form and I have to do the login. Okay, now let's just go to our documentation and let's see how we can implement that, and at least how we can make the request to our Firebase so that it can authenticate either I have correctly logged in, I have entered the correct credential or not. So I will be adding most of the code over here. So for the starters, what we did initially, we googled Firebase web, okay, and Firebase authentication, and then docs, and then we land up over here. Then I just go to web. So first of all, every time when you are reading the docs, na, for the case of Firebase, you have to go to get started. Okay, before copying all those credentials that are present over here, they are present over this point of time. Firebase.js paste all the credentials that were in the settings page, paste it over here, and then follow simply your getting started. I am talking about the same for every service. Okay, so now first of all, just import it, then export the simple get auth. Okay, so now in this file, I've just did the same thing. Now moving on, they have explained how you can do the sign up with the new user. You can sign in with the existing user. So basically we are trying to log in. Okay, so this would be the code. Okay, now what they are doing. So there is another method, sign in with email and password. Okay, where you pass auth, email and password. Okay, and auth can be easily available through get auth. Okay, so here they showed how you can get your auth guy and you can just use it. So I don't need to use auth. Okay, get auth. Okay, I just need to get this sign in with email and password, and I will be getting the auth variable from here, and I can directly use this function. Okay, let's just go with it and go to our component. Let me close it. My email and password was visible, was logged, so that I can use it. Now, coming to it, I have that email variable, the password variable. Of course, from firebase.js, I have exported my auth variable. Okay, now I just need to import auth from it is relative, so dot slash firebase.js. Okay, and the I have to import basically my Firebase, sorry, sign in with email and password from where do I have to get it from Firebase slash auth. So Firebase slash auth, from here I have to get it. So never, what is happening to it? Okay, now, so let me explain the most of the things that are happening over here. Okay, so at the form I will be getting email and password. Okay, I had the form inside of it. I will be getting email and password. Okay, so the as soon as I click on login, my login attempt will be called, and Firebase provides me a method sign in with email and password that is present inside Firebase package. Okay, and you have to just pass the auth that you just declared in your firebase.js file. Okay, and pass email and password. If there is, then this sign with email and password will go to our backend, and will check whether a person with this email and password is present or not. Of course, it is an async request, so sign with email and password is a promise based function. Basically, we are making a request to Firebase backend server that is present in anywhere around the world. Okay, and we are checking our email and password. If that is correct, then my then will be called, and I will be getting the user credential who has signed in. And if I am doing any mistake, then it will be giving me some error. So first of all, what I am going to do is I'm going to log my user, and to test anything you have to break it. Okay, so first of all I will be giving it wrong credentials, so that I'm easily able to see is my code executing or not. Okay, so initially I will be doing the wrong thing. So if I go to my inspect, and if I go to my console, let me just clear it. Let me just reload it. Simply it is reloaded, and let's just ABC, because I just at that point of time when I was creating the user, I just use jasbir@gmail.com. So I will be using the wrong email ID, but password is correct. And if I do simple login, so let's see what would happen. Post, uh, there is an error. There is 400 error. Okay, 400. So let's see what does 400 means. HTTP response code 400. 400 means server cannot or will not process the request due to something that is perceived to a client error. It is a basically issue of client. And the next is user not found. Okay, so the Firebase is saying that your current user is not available or you are not present. Okay, so Jasbir. If I do Jasbir at the rate gmail.com, and if I now log in, let's see what is happening. Now you are getting a user. Okay, it is its access token, its auth, it all these things that I have given to it. Okay, so that's how your basic auth will work. Let's just add a basic additional rendering. So as soon as my login is true, I will be displaying the data of user. Okay, so let's just go over here and let's see where is the data of the user so that I could use it. Or my ID would also work. Okay, so this credential ID will also work. So I will be printing UID. Basically, this is the unique ID that is usually given to a user that is created. Okay, so let's just do it. Okay, so now let's just have a simple const is logged in. So I'm just doing basic step only. Okay, I'm not diving deep into it. So by default, logged in will be false. Okay. Now what I will be doing, if a user is, let's just remove it. If I come inside, then here, if I arrive at this point of code, then I have of course logged in. Okay, so at this point of time I will be doing set is logged in to true. Okay, and initially it will be false. So at this point of time we'll just be adding a simple ternary operator. So basically this is known as conditional rendering. So I will be using this is logged in state variable to check if I'm logged in. Then it will be printing see logged in, and otherwise I have to group all of these things. Okay, so let's just do it. So this is how most of the code works. Okay, so by default, why this form appeared, because by default we are not logged in. Okay, as soon as I enter my email ID speed@gmail.com and my password is 123456 and click on login. So at this point of time user is logged in. Okay, so there are few things that you can work upon it. As soon as error occurs, you have to set the is logged into false, and uh, then second is when you just click on login, you should be showing a loader. So these extra features you can also add. First function that you understood for the authentication was sign in with email and password. Similarly, there are other methods also for sign up and Google login also. Okay, so as of now, what we have accomplished is we have just implemented a simple login feature. Okay, our login part is done. So whenever you have to use, go to console, enable the services. First step would be this. Second, go to Firebase, extract your get auth and put your app to it. And wherever you want to do the login thing, just extract your sign with email and password method and just pass email and password to it. Okay, now moving on, let's just also implement a simple sign up. Okay, let's just also implement a simple sign up for us. Okay, so with this I can also sign up with it also. Okay, so let's just do it. So if I reload it, now it sets up a simple thing, and I want to do a simple sign up, or shall we move forward? I think sign up is also similar. Let me just simply explain it to you people. Sign up will be, you have another function similar to sign up also. Here it is. So here you have create user with email and password. You just need to pass email and password, and your user will be created. And I will be explaining this thing when we will be using Firebase store, Firebase uh, Firestore. Okay, so at that time we will be doing it. There are three major things that you can work upon. It is login, sign up basically. Second is login. Third is, uh, let's say user is using your application or on multiple devices. If he has logged out from one device, then you have to log out him from all the other devices. Hello Imanshu, long time no see. How are you? कैसा ब्रो? हाँ. So uh, the next thing is setting an authentication state observer. That means that uh, when you log out from any of the application, then it should log out you from all the application. Okay. So there is another feature of observer also inside Firebase. Okay. Let's just move to our next service. I think I just gave you a brief idea about these things, and you just need to go through the documentation, and it will be done. Okay, so now the next thing would be to cover our next feature, and in the next feature, I will be covering both the login, sign up, and uh, user also. Okay, huh. So let's see how to implement the second feature, that is database in Firestore. Okay, so now when it comes to Firestore, the task is similar. Just go to Firebase, sorry, Firestore store, uh, docs. Just go Google it. Go over here or go over here any way you like. Okay. Just don't click on here. Cloud Firestore. The same would be appearing. Now always click on Get Started. So it usually revolves around the backend. So that's why they have just given the simple same thing. Okay. So now there are different versions of it. Okay, we have to use web version 9. Okay, we have already installed our Firebase. Just need to import get Firestore from here. Okay, so how you are going to use it? Get Firestore Firebase configuration, and you need to pass your get Firestore function, your app into get Firestore. That's it. So just go to Firebase, just copy the same line, uh, replace it with db, and instead of get auth you should be using get Firestore from, of course, from Firestore. Right? Yes, get Firestore. So if you want to use your database, you have to use it like this. So before adding it into our original application, I want to use it, or let's just take a demo of the console. So for this, let's just go to build your Firestore database. So of course, like your authentication, you have to enable it also. So just click on create database, and always go for the test mode. Okay. So just go for test mode, and by default, uh, the default security rules of test mode allow anyone with your database reference to view, edit, and delete all data in your database for the next 30 days. Okay, so by default, this database will only be enabled for the next 30 days. Okay, so you can just do it, and there are different locations from where you can access it. I want to access it from India, so I'm accessing it from Mumbai. So enabling it, it's now enabled so that the latency will be less. Now we are going to implement a basic Firestore. Okay, thank you. The database Firebase is also enough here. Correct, Lavish. So again, we have to enable it. So there are some rules. Okay, so there are rules to it. Data is here. We will be going over it, and we have rules that you have to sometimes look after to it. Otherwise, there is no issue. Okay, so just need to change this a bit. So allow uh, edit in Firestore without login Stack Overflow. So there is basic rule that you need to change. Okay, so for that, uh, I think I just know that thing, but let's just leave it for a later time. But the point is here, uh, they you can provide the rule book. So with that, you can just enable that your database could only be changed by certain users or n number of users. Okay, and here they have also at the timestamp. Okay, so I will not be using this database for the next period of time as of now, because the time is less than 3:15. Just want to do it for just the 19th date. Just publish it. So if you want to do any change, you can do it from here, and here you can just add or remove the different kind of rule. Okay, so here are also security rules that are here. Okay, so going to the data. So let me just explain how data is stored when it comes to Firestore. Okay, so when I talk about Firestore, then Firestore is basically a NoSQL database. So first of all, how does data hierarchy looks like in case of Firestore? So when we talk about Firestore, at the top level, it has database, and inside of database we are having collections. So collection treated as an array. Okay, or you can map it similar to your MongoDB collections. So you have collections. Collection is a group of document. So collection, and inside of collection you can have document. You can treat document as a, yes, of course, an object type. Okay, these are not of course object. Okay, there are different differences between these. Okay, so at the toppest level we have database. Inside of database there's collection. You can treat collection as array of objects, and inside of collection you have documents, and documents are basically object. Okay, basic JavaScript object. Okay, so that's what a Firestore look like. So a Firestore can have basically a collection id. You can just give it a name. So I am giving it user. So as of now I'm acting as a database admin, so I'm just doing the type changes into database, but it is usually done by your front end code. So the user. Okay, so auto id, I will give giving it auto id. There are different type of data that you can store: string, numbers, boolean, array, null, timestamp, or geolocations. And map is basically an object. So I can just store the name Jasbir, and I can just store the address, that is Delhi, Adarsh Nagar, Delhi. I can store age, that could be a number 26. uh, anything you want. Okay, so with this you can have it. So now you can see you have a collection with user, and every user have uh, every collection have n number of documents, and every document pertains to a unique ID. Okay, so that you can just directly access any of these things. So inside of that, you will be getting your data. So let's just uh, do a simple thing, and let's just try to access this data. Okay, so for that, there are certain things. Okay, so first of all, I will be adding a simple component with Firestore store dot jsx. So in this video, in this lecture, I have the agenda of exploring all the major features that are there that you will be using. By the way, we will be diving deep into Firebase when we will be uh, using it to create Instagram reels. So that is the thing. Okay. So as of now, I'm just, yes, it is similar to schema, yeah, of course. Yes, it is. It is not very tightly coupled to the schema thing. Okay, because of course it is no SQL. Okay, you have your collections, and inside of that you can have document. Okay, so you can just map it according to your MongoDB. So now moving on, let's just do this simple RFCE, and let's just go through this example also. So now here I just want to access the data only majorly. The rest of the thing I will be explaining to you. And we can just leave the sign up part also. You can just go through the documentation. You can just easily implement into your React application, or I will be explaining the same thing into your Instagram reels also. Okay, so for the Firestore part, let's go here and uh, let's import it into my main component, my app component. Okay, Firestore is here. So by the way, if const user comma set user equals to use state will be initially empty, and I will be simply just I will be checking for a simple. Let's just also add empty fragment, and inside of Firestore, let's just have a simple conditional rendering. So if you have a user, in that case, render that user. I will rendering that user. As of now, I'm just printing user is present. Or otherwise, just mm, okay. I think it looks fine. Just import your basic use state. So in the Firebase demo, as of now, we are not having any data. Okay, let's see how we can get data from your simple Firestore. Okay, and also regardless of that, we can also use this thing uh, this thing to do n number of things. Okay, because Firebase usually gives you a real time database, so that if you just do certain tasks on one web page, like if you upload a reel on one web page, a user uploads, one of your friend uploads a reel on his account, then that will be instantly available to you. Okay, so that these are the other features that also are provided by the real-time database by the Firebase. Okay, so that you also need to keep in mind, apart from CRUD, like creating, reading, updating, and deleting. Okay, now coming on, now let's go over here and let's see how we can get the data. I'm not adding the data, I've just added the data. Here you can just directly go through it. Okay, so now uh, If I want to get the data, of course it is very easy. Initially it is data is not present, but of course how will you be getting data? You will be using your simple use effect. Okay, and you will be as of now using it for once. And of course these are the basic function, but as of now we can just work with it. Now if you want to get the data, you have to use your simply get docs and collections from Firebase Firestore. And I think this get docs, let me just go through this, how this thing is working. So as of now they are doing db, and I think you have to use this, you have to pass db, of course. Cool, understood. So coming over here, and when it comes to use effect, you have to sometimes use async await, but as of now I'm not using it. Let's just stick to that then wala syntax only. Okay, so for that, first of all let's just import our required things. So for reading our data, these are the things that are required, so I just pasted it. Next would be, it is saying to await the get docs, but I will not be awaiting. I am just going to just call get docs. Okay, and inside of that, it is asking me to call the normal collection, and inside of that, I have to pass my DB. Of course, for that I have to export it from or import it from my firebase.jsx, sorry, JS file. Let's just pass it DB comma user, and you need to uh, tell it which collection from you wanted. Okay, so now you got these things. Okay, of course it is a basically request, because you already saw that I have just created the database in Mumbai server. Okay, so for that you have to use then, and let's see what all you will be getting. Let's see what all you will be getting. So if I come here, then uh, you get query snapshot. Okay, you get a simple query snapshot. So basically I can just name it a snapshot, because this snapshot is used for real-time communication also. That's why they don't directly give you the data. Okay, so let's just wait a second, and let's just go through it, iterate through it over again. Okay, as of now we are having our user created inside our user collection, and these are his grades. Okay, the first thing is done. Then what I have done, I have just gone through the getting started documentation. You just need to go through the first thing, how to set up. So for this you have to do the npm install that I have already done, of course. Then I have to import it, uh, export it from the normal firebase.js file. This part is done. Next, there are different functions for different tasks. So for adding data, these things you have to do. For reading data, these things you have to do. So as of now, what I'm doing, I'm reading the data. So in other words, I want to read these fields from my file stores. That is what I'm doing as of now. Understood, Abhishek? So now, if I want to do it, I need to import it. Apart from that, here is some of the thing that Firebase is telling me to do. Okay, so get docs is the method, collection is the method, and apart from that, DB is exported from your Firebase.js, and users is basically the collection from which you want to get the data. Okay, so I just passed user, so that is what I did. So I've used use effect because I want to get the data after certain thing is rendered. So that's how you do in React. So as of now, they usually be giving you data inside a query snapshot, so you have to get the data from it. So it is very easy. You can use for each, or you can use a simple for loop. So as of now, I am using simple for loop to get my data. So as of now, it just a simple snapshot, or instead of just a snap for each, you can also use for loop also if you don't know the thing. Okay, let's just go over here, inspect it, and let's see what this console has given me. As of now, This is the thing that it has given to me, and of course it is in string. That's why it is not visible to me. So I want to just get the doc.data and my doc.id. So let's see what is the thing it has given to me. Put it, of course. So now, as I've already told you, that use effect runs two times when you are in the development version. So if you uh, don't want to see this result twice, because if I reload it, it is going to go to my Firestore. Then it is going to get a snapshot, because this snapshot is usually used for real-time communication. That's why they don't directly give you the data. Okay, so you have to do a simple for each, and if you call doc.data, okay, this is one single document that you get. If you want to extract the exact object in which your data is stored, you have to call the doc.data function. Okay, so as soon as you call it, your task is done. And what happens when we use effect in development version, at that point of time React executed it twice. So to avoid it, you can just remove it from here. Now it will be printing only once. Okay, so that is the one edge case that you all need to remember about. Okay. So as of now, you can just directly read n number of data, and of course you can just also get the data using ID also. Of course you can get the data using ID also. Okay, that is one another thing. But I just gave you the example how you can easily get the data. So let's just set user, and just give it doc.data. I think it's done. So initially it will be an empty object. So user dot uh, object dot keys add user dot length. So what I did initially, I did empty object, and after that I just replace it with the data. Okay, let's just also console.log it again so that we can view the data. So doc dot data. Let's just over here and inspect it, and let's just check it what will be the data. So I'm getting address, age, and name. So that is very easy for me. So let's just simply use it to represent the user's data. And you can also add loading and all those things also. So now my user is present. Okay, let's just get the data from it. So of course I've set it. So now s2 name, use the spans. Okay, spans will be helpful. User dot name and span address just add divs. I think this would be essential, because spam would be planning it one after another. It will be the inline now. So address is done. Then your age, I think. Reload it. Of course, you can see I'm getting data and it is present. Okay. So what I've done as of now, of course, similarly, you have to of course enable the service, and there are few more things. You can have add rules with that. By default, it is only available for the 30 days. You can extend this thing with the rules also, and here are the playground where you can also go through it and see the different rules that are there when you're using Firestore. Okay, so first of all you have to enable it, and second thing was that we have, it is similar to your MongoDB. It has collection and documents, and collection is basically a group of document, and document can, you can treat it as an object, and that object is identified using a unique ID. That was the thing. And how to use it, just go to firebase.js, include this get firestore function and pass the app to it. You will be getting an object named db, and for every action you have to use this object. Okay, so now moving on to our firestore.jsx file. Here I just imported the thing, and you have just to, you just have want to use the firestore, just go to its documentation, go to get started, and you can get to know how to set up it, and you can also read the different things that you can work on it, because there are many features that you can work with it. Okay, now coming on, what I've done over here is, initially my object, my user was an empty object, so I wanted to know if there is something inside this object. That means I got the data. Okay, so my keys will be more than one. Okay, is greater than zero. This that thing. Okay, so if I have something to show up, then show the data of the object that is inside of it, and if I have nothing to show, give it no data present. Object.keys means that capital object is the base class that is present inside JavaScript, and it has a static method over it, and its name is keys. And if you pass any object inside of it, it can uh, it will be giving you the array of keys. Okay, what it does, it will be giving you all the keys in a form of arrays, and array can have length, and if its length is greater than 0, then there is something inside that object. Okay, because if you directly compare an empty object for a nullify thing, then it will be going to be true. Added firestore get demo. Let's just move on and let's see the next feature that is there. So now firestore is done. Of course, you have to again go and enable the service. Go and enable the service, and of course choose test mode with nearest to you, and you can also modify the uh, rules. So by default it is only available for 30 days. Okay, so now database is done. If I want, then I can move to, now these two features are done. Let's just do our storage and hosting. Okay, so uh, as of now I want to do the hosting part. Now I want to deploy the whole application onto Firebase. It is very easy. So let me tell you how, what are the steps that you need to take. First of all, you have to install Firebase tools. Okay, so just go to hosting React app Firebase. So you can get an article, or you should for uh, you should directly go to, I think there are many articles, so you can just directly go to any one of these. Okay, so I'm going to this article. As of now I just want to do it on my own. Okay, so the thing is that you need to install is, so there are a few steps that are there. First is always go and install global, you have to install it globally. Npm install dash g means globally, so that it is available from anywhere. Firebase dash tools. Okay, so for hosting just do npm I dash d firebase dash tools. Okay. What has happened to it? Sudo. Okay, do sudo. So now, as soon as this part is done, Firebase examples. Okay, now just type the command npm run build. Okay, npm run build. And if you are in your Linux or Mac environment, then you have to use sudo. If you are in your Windows, then you can just directly use it. Npm run build. With the build thing, what happens? Your build is created. So this, I think this distribution PM run build, some chunks are larger, building for production, declared HTML. I think build distribution is there. I think no shoes. Where it is in distribution, of course. Okay, so when for the case of create React app is it is usually build. Okay, now it is available. My build folder is available at dist, and here you can get the most of the things. Okay, I don't need this SVG thing. Okay, I don't know why I added it, but let's just keep it that way. Okay, so just type and run build. After that, you have to use the Firebase tools that you have installed. For that, just do Firebase in it. Okay, so let me just clear it out. Firebase init, sudo Firebase init. Okay, first of all, you have to do Firebase login out. For the initial user, you may have to use for the first time just Firebase login. Okay, after that, you have to always do Firebase init. So I will be doing Firebase login. Now Firebase, CRM, blah 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 blah. No, just use any of the links. Just click on here. Just click on allow. I've done it. Just create from here. npm sorry Firebase init. The first step would be to log in, and then you can just Firebase init. Okay. Now here are the options. Which Firebase feature do you want to set up for the directory? Just need to use the fourth feature. Okay, there are n number of things that are available. So among these, I need to do the configure files for Firestore hosting optionally set up for GitHub deploy. No, hosting setup GitHub action no. I just need the configure file for Firebase host. I just need to add hosting. Okay, different time here. Okay, use an existing project. Just press the enter the that I used. Okay, what do you want to use as a public directory? Hmm, just use a public, I think. Configure y automatic build and I think uh, wait a sec. This now how it should be. Let me just redo it again. I was in it. Just go to the hosting part, enterprise. Just do dist rewrite. Don't rewrite it. If you have built it, press n. Set automatic n, and file already exists. No, never overwrite it. Okay, and now Firebase deploy. Last step would be Firebase deploy. So it will be sending your link, and it will be giving you a basic link where your web page is installed. Okay, now you can see it is available. That's how you can easily deploy it using Firebase hosting. Okay, so now what we did, these were the few things that we did. So first of all, you have to npm run build. Okay, then npm init, then choose hosting with optional GitHub action, and then it will be giving you some options. Among those options, you have to choose. They will be telling you which public folder you want to use. Choose for the create react tab, choose build, and for the v tab, choose dist, that we build using npm run build. Okay, and then for any rewrites say no, and for any overwrites also, rest will be no, of course. Okay, distribution for public directory, and then these are the options that are present inside Firebase. After these three options are done, these four options are basically done. Now you can just directly type Firebase deploy. And you can also add a CI/CD pipeline so that as soon as you just change, do some changes, it is automatically deployed. You can do that also. I just chose uh, chose to do the simplest option. Okay. So now our authentication is done, database is done, hosting is done.